Storytelling is interwoven into all AT's content, from teaser videos to concept photos to tour announcements. But today I want to talk about their music. Not the lyrics or the titles, but the way their music sounds. Because by just listening to their music, we can learn about this story. In my opinion, we can evaluate ATEEZ's music using pairs of opposites. If you've watched my color theory videos, you'll know that I used to divide ATEEZ songs into red songs and blue songs. I still do this to some extent, but I've also decided that it's way more complicated than that. Let's start with Old World and New World. What do Old World music and New World music sound like? It's a little bit self-explanatory, but Old World music would be any kind of historical-inspired music production. This can include things like the piratey sea shanty melodies found in songs like Pirate King or Wonderland, or the outro of Desire. Old World music can be the utilization of folk or traditional instruments, like in The Reel, or the strings in Ice on My Teeth. It is any old or ancient style of music, like the Gregorian chant choral section of Gorillaz' second verse, or the age-old tradition of work songs. A work song, if you will. And then we have New World music, music with very modern production techniques, with influences from contemporary genres of music. Something like the Screamo-esque part of Gorillaz' first verse is a good example. New World music is music of the future, electronic instruments, vocal effects, and auto-tune. You can hear this in Illusion, or The Ring, in Propaganda, and in the synthesizer that whines in the background of Pirate King. ATEEZ rarely releases a song that fits 100% perfectly into one category. Rather, their producers pick and choose elements from both columns and combine them in unique ways. The result is a body of musical work that spans across time. Very fitting, given the significance of time in ATEEZ's storyline. You can do this exercise with basically any pair of opposites. So we have Winter and Summer, songs with very summery, island-inspired production, like in Blue Summer, Stay, Wave, or the reggae-style verses of Shaboom. Compare this with colder, more wintry songs like Mist or Everything. There are utopian songs and dystopian songs, songs that sound optimistic, hopeful, uplifting, versus more somber, dark, dystopian songs. It's actually quite common for ATEEZ concerts to begin with dystopian songs and end with an encore of utopian songs. Their concerts sonically take you on that journey. There are natural versus electronic or robotic sounds, loud versus quiet, and slow versus fast. I even think there are awake songs and asleep songs, songs that sound like lullabies and songs that sound like alarms. Holla Holla has always been my favorite case study for lore-inspired music production. The song begins very soft, very delicate, very old world, and just as the first verse starts, you can hear the sound of glass breaking, which is a nod to lots of things. The beginning of the Diary film, the chroma breaking, Crossing the Horizon, mirrors. This is also part of the choreography too, where they mirror each other into the glass breaks. But anyways, after that happens, we transition to the rest of the song being much louder, aggressive, and electronic, a New World song. When you listen to Holla Holla, you travel to a new world. And the song further contrasts with the traditional remix that was released on Shift the Map. This kind of narrative music production even bleeds into how ATEEZ's music is released. If they put out a louder, aggressive, New World dystopian album, that will invariably be balanced out by the release of a softer, heartfelt, Old World or utopian album. If you look at the dual title tracks from Fever Epilogue, The Real and Turbulence, these are two songs that are the opposite of each other in every way. Treasure and Precious are not only opposites, they're mirrors of each other. Hungjun's matching verse falls at the beginning of Treasure and at the end of Precious, and these two songs bookend the Treasure series as a whole. Storytelling plays a role in the ordering of track lists, songs at the beginning versus songs at the end. The World Fin album is the quintessential example of this. There's a very distinct split in the musical styles of the first half of the album versus the second half, with Crescent Part 2 bridging the gap in between. Their whole discography falls on a spectrum, on a journey between two extremes. ATEEZ takes opposites, things that should be completely incompatible with each other, and blends them into one song, or one album, or one concert. Their music resides at the intersection between opposites. Their music is treasure. It is the thing that connects ATEEZ and ATENI. This is not really a super serious theory video. I have a bad ear for musical intricacies, and I honestly don't know enough about music theory to make that kind of video. I mostly just think this is neat. It makes me love their music even more. It helps me to appreciate the level of detail KQ and their producers invest into their art. And I think it's a really extraordinary way to approach making music. To me, ATEEZ's music is one of the most immersive ways they tell their story. And in turn, I found their storyline to be one of the most immersive ways to engage with their music.